What's going on, everyone? So we have news that Anthony Davis is going to be out at least a month, could be longer, with that foot injury that he suffered. And this is just this terrible news, right, for the Lakers, right? Anthony Davis has been playing like the best player on the planet. Lakers are just so far behind and really need Anthony Davis to kind of lead the charge and get us back to 500 and above to try to get to the playoffs. Now, look, the Lakers did step up in the last game when Anthony Davis got hurt, but are they going to be able to consistently do that night in and night out? Now they're going to be leaning very heavily on Thomas Bryant, winning Gabriel. We'll see what happens with him. Damian Jones, is he going to start getting some run and some burn? But he looks lost at times out there on the court. Lakers are just in a really tough bind. And Rob Pelinka is going to really have some decisions on his hands, right? Does he look at this as, okay, season's over, no trade, let's be done? Or does he look at this as like, okay, we really need to do a trade now. Let's get a trade done to try to, salvage this season. And then when Anthony Davis comes back, maybe we can be a contender. Now, there's two ways to look at it when it comes to a trade. And hopefully, us as Laker fans, we're hoping Rob Pelinka is looking at it as like, okay, well, let's go do a trade that makes sense, that when Anthony Davis comes back, we can, be a contender and compete for a championship. And one way is you go look and you get a big, right? Many people want to see Myles Turner or like a Jakob Poeltl or something like that. Or the other option is go get a piece that you were already looking to get and hopefully say like a Bojan Bogdanovic. Maybe now you go do the Bojan Bogdanovic trade and hopefully Bojan and his scoring and his ability to kind of step up. Russ, if he can step up and be more of a scorer, and then LeBron James, maybe they can weather the storm, win enough games so that way when Anthony Davis comes back, now he plugs in and now you're off to the races, right? You got a Bojan who's great. You got LeBron, playing like LeBron. You got Russ hopefully stepping up and kind of figuring out how to score and assist more, kind of take it to the next level. That is a realistic goal that they could look at. Or they could look at the Buddy Hield and Myles Turner deal, or just Myles Turner in general, right? Maybe you just go get Myles Turner by itself. Problem with that is a couple things. One, the Lakers, any deal that they're doing right now is going to be looked at as desperation if it wasn't already before. So now what's the asking price? Maybe you could have gotten Myles Turner for one first. Are you going to give up both unprotected firsts for Myles Turner? And that's assuming that the Pacers even want to deal Myles Turner anymore, right? Like there's talks and reports of Indiana wanting to give him an extension, wanting to sign him up. But does he want that, right? Or does he look at it as like, okay, well, I'm not signing that extension. I'm not going to be here next season. So trade me now. Go get what you can. And then maybe the Lakers look to do this move. Do you trade Russ and go get Buddy Hield and Myles Turner? Like there's a lot of things that Rob Pelinka is really going to have to sit down and evaluate. And again, what is the price now, right? Because if it was 2 firsts for Buddy Hield and Myles Turner, maybe now it's 2 firsts for just Myles Turner. And now, because Indiana they're not winning anything this year, but they're not in a position to where they have to make a deal. Like they're too far ahead to tank this season and go get like a Victor Wembanyama. So like, do they even want to make a trade? That's a real scenario here. The other option, which I think that they should look at, because I don't see Indiana willing to work with the Lakers and give them a fair deal for one. And two, again, why trade them? The Lakers, the teams don't care that the Lakers lost Anthony Davis. Teams don't care. They're going to want even more now because they're going to look at it as like, yeah, well, it was, even like Bojan. Even the whole Bojan scenario, right? Like maybe now Detroit's looking like, hey, it's 2 unprotected firsts now for Bojan. You want him now? Your team is Anthony Davis is out. Your season's falling off the rails. What do you want? That's the problem. Is the asking price now for any type of trade is likely going to go up because teams aren't really going to want to help. So now you need to find a deal that makes sense, that can help you now, maybe help you for the future, and also be a move that helps like when Anthony Davis gets back. It's a really tough spot for the Lakers to be in. And that might be one of the reasons Rob Pelinka looks at it and goes, you know what? I can't do a deal. There's no point. There's no reason. Teams are going to fleece me, and I'm going to end up doing a deal that's going to cost double what it would usually cost. And What if Davis missed the whole season or he misses the majority of the season and these guys come in and it's not enough? Like, is Myles Turner going to be able to give you the production that Anthony Davis is able to give you? I don't think so, right? And this team, even with Anthony Davis playing at a monster MVP level, wasn't enough to get you over 500. So do you make a deal for Myles Turner, and how much better does that make you without Anthony Davis? Yes, when Anthony Davis comes back, then yeah, maybe you could really rattle off some wins and drive this home. But if you end up losing 9 out of 10 games or something like that, or you go 6-4 or something like that, you're still so far behind that by the time Anthony Davis comes back, you're still in a rut. Personally, I think you call up the Spurs. I think you try to go get a Jakob and maybe like a Josh Richardson or Doug McDermott. And I know many people don't, want Myles Turner over this, but here's the thing. Jakob is probably going to give you similar production to Anthony Davis because, look, Anthony Davis isn't going to be down low in the post. So now you need somebody that's down in the post, right? And Jakob is a better post guy. Yes, Myles Turner can knock down the 3 ball and you can run different sets and different spreads, but Jakob, at least he can be a low threat option. He can get you some points. He can rebound. He's a great interior defender. Where Myles Turner, yes, he's a great shot blocker, great interior defender. I'm not arguing that. But Jakob is going to be a lot cheaper, and you'd get another piece for the price that you would get for Myles Turner. Right? So you get that center, and when Anthony Davis comes back, you can run Anthony Davis at the 4 and try that out. Or if it doesn't work, Jakob, you could bring him off the bench and have him be like the primary backup for Anthony Davis. You can't really do that with Myles Turner, right? And again, the Spurs are going to ask for a lot too. But at this point, you need as many pieces to kind of come in and weather this storm. You need to try to get as much production as possible without losing all flexibility. And Jakob and Josh Richardson aren't going to cost 2 unprotected firsts, like the Indiana Pacers might look at Buddy Hield and Myles Turner, or just Myles Turner, right? They might look at Myles Turner because Indiana, it's like, hey, you had an opportunity, you blew it. I would love it if they can get Myles Turner at this point. Sure, go do that. Go get Myles Turner. I just don't see the Indiana Pacers working with the Lakers and trying to help them unless Lakers are willing to fleece themselves for a Myles Turner. Maybe the Lakers get desperate, and they will, but I think you look at the Spurs deal, and you look at the Spurs, and you go, hey, you guys are the best team, one of the best teams in the league at tanking this year. You're trying to play for Victor Wembanyama. You're going to lose Poeltl. You're going to lose Josh Richardson. We'll give you an unprotected first for the 2 of them. Now you got that center that can come in. He's also a great passer. You can run your offense through him at times if you need to. Just kind of got that low post defensive center who can also, do multiple things. Get a guy like Josh Richardson who could be like your KCP, or go get a Doug McDermott. He could kind of be like your sniper. You're trading Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn. You give up an unprotected first, maybe a second or 2 if you have to. You keep one of those firsts, and you take Russell Westbrook and you go make the move. At the trade deadline if you need to, or if one comes up. Right, you're not trading Russ just to trade Russ. But now, guys are going to have to step up. You're going to have to see a monster performance from LeBron James, which is really a lot of wear and tear on a 38-year-old. Russell Westbrook's really going to have to start pushing the scoring load. We're going to need him to get to at least 20 points a game and maintain a decent amount of assists, right? We're going to need some real scoring output from Russell Westbrook. Reeves, Walker, everybody is going to have to contribute more. Thomas Bryant has been a model of consistency. He was great when Anthony Davis went down. We're going to need to see Thomas Bryant continue to do that until the Lakers can work out and figure out a deal. I just think if you're the Lakers, you're looking at Indiana and you're looking at the Spurs, because they're the 2 teams that have centers that you could go get at hopefully a reasonable price. I just think the Spurs deal, you get an extra player, and on top of getting that extra player, it probably costs less than what the Indiana Pacers are going to demand from you for Myles Turner, right? Think about it. If you're Indiana, you're immediately asking for both firsts. I want both first-round picks. That's what we want. We want both first-round picks for Myles Turner, unprotected, or go find something else, right? Because, again, if you're Indiana, you don't have to trade Myles Turner. You don't. You don't need to, and you don't have to trade him to the Lakers. Or you can make the Lakers wait. Hey, how long are you willing to wait? we'll wait until the season's over. Like, how long are you going to wait? I just think you look at the Spurs, hit up Pop, you say, hey, dude, we got one unprotected first, Josh Richardson, Jakob Poeltl, bring him in. Not just that, I think Jakob Poeltl, you could kind of have him play, if you need to, off the bench, have him start, whatever. However you look at it, Jakob Poeltl is no slouch by any means. He's a real center in this league. He's a great center that can just do multiple things. And then, again, the last sort of deal is like go do the deal for Bojan Bogdanovic for the unprotected first, if that's still an option on the table. Give up the unprotected first. Go get Bojan. If you get Bojan, maybe Bojan, LeBron, and Westbrook can be enough to just at least weather the storm until Anthony Davis comes back, because you were looking at Bojan regardless, right? So maybe you go get Bojan. He's a guy that's proven he can go get you 20 points a game, right? So now you at least got 20 of Davis's 30 that is missing, right? So now you at least got the scoring input. You're not going to have the defensive input, which is a concern, right? But at least you solved the scoring input, and that could really help. Problem with Myles Turner also is, like, you solved the defensive input and you solved probably half of the scoring output, but you're not going to cover the score. So, and Myles Turner isn't going to solve all the Lakers' defensive issues. So maybe you go and you look at Bojan and you say, that's a piece we were going to get regardless. That was a piece that we believe could be a real factor alongside Anthony Davis. So let's go do that move. Then when Anthony Davis comes back, now you got Russ, Bojan, LeBron, Davis, and maybe now you have enough to make a real run here and go try to win a championship. That would be my guess that the Lakers may look at, more than trying to go get fleeced by Indiana or pulling off a deal with the Spurs that the Spurs want too much. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. What do you think? Do you think that, yes, the Lakers need to do some deal, go get Myles Turner, even if it's both first-round picks, go get, Jakob Poeltl, Josh Richardson, or go do whichever deal's cheaper, or go do the Bojan Bogdanovic deal? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear them down in the comments section below.